Mic check. I think I'm working. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's. Um, you are hearing me. I'm hearing you, but Zoom is not connecting my headset. Why is that? Why is that? Zoom? Why is that? Audio. Okay. All right, give me 1 second, guys. Let me. Well, not that there's much of us here yet. Um, what's up, Zoom? Let me disconnect and reconnect this thing. Connected. Go. Mic check, mic. Um, mic. Um, somebody say something. No? Let me see if I hear you guys.
Hearing you, sir.
Ah, yes, it is working. Apparently the Zoom version of the Mac version of Zoom don't have the little thing when you click on it, it make a sound. So you know, say it connected. All right. Yes. So we're in a little bit of a different setup today, guys. I am in transit, but the show must go on, right? So welcome to AC2 on the road version. Uh, right. Pin, spotlight, pin. I guess that. Welcome, guys. Let's see. How much persons do we have here? Do we have everyone? We have some that is just coming in. Welcome, guys. Ta-da. All right, so we're here on Saturday again, right? And today we're going to continue our journey um, on the first assignment for Advanced Computing 2, right? Um, this is going to be the infographic assignment. So, all right, I'm not sharing my screen. Share my screen real quick. Share sound, the master video. Bam. Yeah. Um, of course, this has to update. Okay, let's update that. All right, you guys see my screen okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. So last time we met, we watched some videos. Here we go. Last time we met, we spoke about, let's let this be the mouse, infographics, right? And we spoke about the benefits of infographics, and then we looked at some great examples. And then I unveiled a new project for us, which is, can I hide this thing? This Zoom thing in the way. Right. Then we unveil the new project. And what we're going to do today is we're going to look at some strategies of how we can create information graphics, right? Hmm, can I use the Mac to do this? I hope so. All right. Here we go. So this is what the assignment looks like, right? So what you guys are doing for me is you are trying to summarize two of these um, paragraphs as a single infographic, right? Any two that you choose. And the objective is that you have to make two of them work on a single sheet, right? So you're not going to be giving me two sheets, one for population demographics and one for growth demographics. You're going to give me a single sheet. Now, what I want to do today is I want to give you some tips in how you create an infographic. And I have two methods here, right? Um, one of the first methods is a simple five-step process. And I have one method that I would say is for I would say for advanced users. Would I say advanced? Yeah. Um, who here anybody here has built an infographic before, by the way? Right? No? Um, but everybody here knows how to use Illustrator and Photoshop. You guys did use Illustrator and Photoshop last semester, right, Joanne? Because you had to do that assignment one in AC2. And that is where you learned how to combine different um tools together. So um so for example, how do I export something from SketchUp and take it into Illustrator? Or how do I export something and take it into Photoshop and then turn it into lines? Um, you guys did all of that, right? I think Joanne was saying yes. Was that a yes, Joanne?
I think so, sir.
Oh, it sounded like you barely remember. I said, I think so.
So I did AC1 a while back.
Oh,
So
you did it before.
yeah,
Okay, okay. So a better example would be like, who did it last year? Chevron. Um, hold on.
Yes, sir.
Right. You did this last semester, right?
Yes.
Hmm. I know that. John, when you did AC1, who taught you? Was it me or was it
it was
Akinde?
And Ramarak and somebody else, I think.
Okay, okay, okay,
Hmm.
okay, 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 right. So the idea is that is supposed to prepare you for AC2, where I won't be going into like features of using Illustrator because that you would have explored that already. You know the basics already from DDM. Hopefully that don't fly out of everybody's brain. So we did DDM already. So I'm just going to be focused on high level concepts here, right? Assuming that you already use these programs. So I'm going to open my Illustrator and my Photoshop, and I think I have Office on this, right? Yeah, I have PowerPoint, right? Hopefully it's supposed to work. Um, and I want to talk about a five-step approach to creating some infographics, right? Now, I have here a bunch of stuff on the board, and not to get us confused, I like to just, oops, go out into the open here. All right, I forget I'm using Apple, right? So Apple is, any Apple fans in the house? Anybody using an Apple computer? Thumbs up if anybody using Apple here for this module. Nobody on Apple, everybody on Windows. Cool. So if I don't remember something, I can't ask anybody then to help me. All right. Alex, give me a thumbs down. I guess that means you don't even like Apple, right? Or that means you're not using it. Uh, all right, guys. So when you look for infographic in Google or anywhere on the internet and you just type the word, you would see a lot of graphics that maybe look something like this. Or you might see some things. I should have asked if you guys seen my screen okay. Hold on, did I unspot myself? Are you seeing my screen or are you seeing me?
Being both, so
You seeing both? Okay, because I did. Very stupid. Oh, here it is. Yeah. Right. There we go. Okay, good. I don't know if you've seen something different on your side now, but you should be seeing the screen. So when you look for infographics, you will be seeing a lot of stuff that kind of looks like this and things that look like this. And one of the things that that I'm hoping that you guys remember from AC2 is that we learn a little bit of how to break down graphics. So for example, if I am looking at this infographic, right? And I try to break it down in terms of features, like this is a gradient, this is text. Um, Anybody can tell me. I'm seeing a bit of lines and shapes here. What would be a good tool to draw lines and shapes? Anybody? Photoshop,
Illustrator, sir.
Illustrator, PowerPoint, Word. I hear somebody say Illustrator. So that's good. All right. You can use Photoshop as well. Right. As a matter of fact, you can even use PowerPoint if you really want to. Because if you take a look at PowerPoint, this is Photoshop. Let me try and put each of these on a different screen. So this is Photoshop. Oh no, wait. Okay, this Photoshop and Illustrator. I have those here. PowerPoint I have here. Let's put that on its own screen. Right. So if I open a blank presentation in PowerPoint, and everybody here knows to use PowerPoint already. Oh, this one is the one on Mac, so it doesn't have. Okay. Pull for my backup here. Okay. I will show you this in a little bit. Because I don't have this license on the Mac version here, for PowerPoint. But what I want to get at is that in order to create some of these shapes, we would be using a program that mostly can handle lines pretty good. right? Now, it's easy to just go and look on some of these things and say, oh, this is a great idea. I can do this thing. I can draw this little tree shape here. Maybe I can find a picture of a tree on the internet and then turn it into lines and then draw this whole thing. But the first thing that we do when we're creating an infographic is not to jump in and deal with the graphics, right? And then we look on the steps that we have here. The first thing we need to do is put together your information. That is the very first thing we need to do. So for example, if I take a look on, I don't want to use this one, because I don't want to give away the solution so easily. Okay, I'm going to make up one in my head. So if we say, for example, that, let me grab this here. Let me use growth demographics, right? And I'm going to kind of make this up. Go away, go away, go away. Here we go. Copy this here. Here we go. And let's look on some of the information that we have here. I can at least show one as an example. All right, forget I'm using a Mac, right? So Montego Bay has been steadily rising for the past few decades, with data from 1991 to 2018 indicating an increase in an average of approximately 1% per year, adding to its population. Over 35,000 new residents over the last 27 years. So I specifically give you a lot of numbers in this. And the first thing you have to do is highlight the numbers. So some of the key things that we see here is that, well, we're talking about Montego Bay. Where's my highlighter here? Right, we're talking about Montego Bay. So already we have a location. Steadily rising for the first 3 decades with data from 1991 to 2018. So right away we have another set of numbers that is here, indicating an average of approximately 1% per year. So we have another number here. And the first thing you do when you're trying to represent something with infographics, the first thing you do is try to get the numbers down pat. So I have this example here to show you. Let me bring it up here. Here we go. Okay, let's see if this thing will open on this, even though I don't have the, you guys can see the screen, right? Hopefully, yes. You're gonna have to see it with all of these icons here, right? So here are some rough ideas for infographics, and these are just shapes. Like I can just drag this out like this. Of course, I can't do it like that because, okay, let me open PowerPoint on my other computer. So these are just simple shapes that you can push and pull and drag around. This is text that you see right here. This is a silhouette of a pipe, and this is just talking about things to do with the environment. Look at this other one here. This one is talking about growth and it's using the picture of a tree. Now, let me ask, let me see who I can pick on now. Who can tell me the answer? If you were to create an infographic, we know that it's about Montego Bay, for example. This infographic that I'm showing you here is about a tree. So you see those two different themes. So if we're talking about a theme, sorry to be dizzying you like this. Here, right. So, Ray, are you here, Ray?
Yes, sir.
If I'm building an infographic about a tree, so chances are I'm going to need to show some amount of trees in there. How would you get an illustration of a tree? Where would be your go-to for that?
So I will go on Pinterest or
Hmm.
Google in images.
And Google Images. All right, cool. And you'll like download a picture of a tree, right?
Yeah.
Right. Now, um, let's say you download the picture of a tree, but it's chances are you're gonna get it. I mean, I can just go to Google here and type tree silhouette, right? And you get some pretty good pictures of the trees. But let's say you find one that you want, like this one, because you want to use it in your infographic. But it is a JPEG. And maybe you didn't want the trunk to be so thick, or maybe you wanted it to have different branches. Like if you look at this example I show you here, suppose you wanted to use this idea. So you wanted a picture like this, and then you wanted a picture with the individual leaves like this, and then a little one like this. So chances are you'd have to go searching for the different ideas. Usually, when you probably find what you're looking for, you have to do some amount of manipulation. So basically, what I'm saying is that you have to go out hunting for all the graphics that you need to put your infographic together. So I'm going to go to my back to my step-by-step thing here. After you identify the information, meaning I know that I need a tree because I'm talking about trees. So let me go on Google and now hunt for trees. That is one of the other steps that you have to do. Look you need to look to search for resources for your design. And Ray, you tell me that, okay, I go to Pinterest. Pinterest is a good place that you can search. Now, there are a couple places here that I have, and I'm going to give you the opportunity to try them out, right? But hold on, not just yet. Not just yet. We're still looking through our example that we of our tree that we have here. Now, I done pick and Ray already, so let me throw this question out to somebody else now. How do I even know that I wanted to use this idea of how do I show growth per year? You know what? I'm going to use the picture of a tree because a tree represents what? Growth. So I'm going to use my idea is that I'm going to have a picture of a little tree getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, the idea is what came first before you went on the internet hunting for trees. Because if you didn't come up with the concept that you want to use a tree that grows and grows and grows, like you wouldn't even know what to look for, right? So let me go back here. This is why in my step-by-step process here, it's in a certain order. Like, I'm not going to say, hey, Ray, I want you to go out and look for maps of Mobi because the assignment is talking about Mobi. Before you even go and look for those resources, after you get your information, you need to decide on the type of diagram that you want to use. All right. Now, what are the different types of diagrams that you have out there? Who can tell me different types? No, let me know. Types of chart. Let me use it. What are different types of chart that exist? Give me some of the popular ones. Spooner.
Yeah, pie
Okay,
chart.
okay, hold on. So Seko give me pie chart. So Spooner, you can't say pie chart now. You have to give me another one.
Bar graph.
Bar graph. I'm still waiting on Spooner. So you can't say bar graph, Spooner, or pie chart. Which other chart exists?
The pictograph.
Hold on. Pictograph. That's a nice one. Cool.
Line.
What was that
Line.
one?
Line.
A line? Okay, that's kind of like a timeline, right? That's what you mean? When you say line, is it? Let me make sure I have my chart here.
Chart.
A line chart. What does a line chart look like? You mean, oh, you mean it's like, those stock prices and you see the line going up? That's what you mean?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. And Spooner, you said something. What was that?
She took what I was going to say, so
That's why you have to move fast, man. All right, so Spooner, since that stole your answers, let me ask you this question. What kind of chart is this?
bar.
A bar chart?
A fancy looking bar.
Well, you're absolutely right. It is a bar chart. And that's what I'm getting at. After you have the information for your infographic, you need to decide on what are the charts that you're going to use. Because remember when we talk about in the last class, when we look at that example of the whole globe and water thing, and the globe was round, and we use a pie chart, but it didn't look like a traditional pie chart, right? It looked kind of fancy. And I like how Spooner said it. You said it's a very fancy bar chart, and that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. So in your journey to create an infographic, after you collect your information, you're going to try and determine what's the best chart that shows this information. So for example, let's say that you have a bar chart that's speaking about maybe you did a survey, or maybe you want to show how much water is recycled in your building, right? So you try, what's the best chart that would show that? Suppose you're comparing something with your building with the other building. Like suppose you're saying, hey, before my intervention, before my museum, only 10% knew about the history of whatever place. But now with the museum, 80% will know more about the history of the. So how can I represent that on a chart? Is it a bar? Is it a pie? And then there are different types of bar chart and different types of pie charts, right? So there are different solutions. So you see, the thing is, most of us are kind of thinking a bar chart is a bar chart, but no, this is a bar chart. And look at some of these other examples you have here. Tissue consumption. Each of these are bar chart. They are horizontal bar charts, right? This one is speaking about gallons of water. Technically, this is a kind of bar chart, right? But it's just done in a creative way. The thing is, at the end of the day, it is a type of chart. Like even this one that you have here, it is a type of chart, but at the beginning, when you're designing the infographic, maybe you don't know what the chart wants to be yet, right? We don't know that if the chart is going to be a little tree or it's going to be a little tissue thing with a bar chart, but we know that we want to use a bar chart. Now, I want you guys to try out this link. You can jump on the mirror board, or let me copy the link here to make your life a little easier. Let me copy this link and paste it in the chat. I want you guys to check out this website. Types of charts. All right. All right. So when you check out that website, it will look something like this. Now, guys, I'm going to be showing you some cool websites here, and you're going to want to bookmark each one of these because these are sites that I use for life. How can I hide this Zoom thing? Mac doesn't have a hide button. It's getting in the way. All right, let me close this one here and let me open this in another thing. Okay, how about this one? All right, guys, click on this link and it should look like this. All right, are you guys there? This is an awesome website because this website shows you every type of chart that exists. And like you'll be blown away to know that there's a chart for everything. So this is a great way for you to start. Like if you're saying, if you're trying to represent a figure and you're trying to determine what is the best chart, and you don't already have a vision in your brain, jump onto this website and look through it. So you will get a lot of ideas for a lot of different type of charts. And the best thing is, so for example, this matrix diagram, roof shaped, like you might be saying, what the heck is this diagram? What is it? What is it? What is it showing? When you click on the chart, it gives you examples of how that chart is used, practical examples. So you might look on this chart and saying, I don't know what the heck this is, but then you can look at an example and see how it is used. So for example, if you look at this example here, and believe it or not, this is a chart that's actually used in architecture. So for example, this is saying that, and I want you to follow me here. The kitchen is, if I go to the kitchen and I follow the row of kitchen downwards, the kitchen is, and the gray is not related to the bedroom. I don't know if you can track that there, right? So you track the row down, and where kitchen and bedroom intersect is a gray icon, and the gray icon says not related. So this is a diagram that can tell you the relationships between different rooms. So for example, this is saying that the parking must never be or must not be adjacent to the back porch. But the parking must be adjacent to the porch. Are you guys following me? Have I lost you? Do you understand this diagram?
Yes, sir.
Right. So has anybody ever used this kind of diagram before? No, anybody? This is new.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Oh, good. So then I'm here preaching to the choir, like you already know this stuff already. So I'm not talk now. Anyway, the point is that this website gives you some awesome charts. So for example, this one here, the sunburst chart, and then it shows you how you can use it. One of my favorite sunburst charts is this one. I actually put it on the mirror board, and you guys probably know of this chart in architecture. What makes a good place? Have you guys ever seen this one before? Somebody? Some people? So for example, sociability is what makes a good place. And these are the different categories of sociability, right? And then this is kind of how it relates to architecture. So for example, good street life will make the place welcoming and interactive, and it will add to sociability, right? And I can't remember who came up with it. I have a link here. So if you guys want to follow this up, it's a great website. But this example is a sunbeam chart. And if you ever wanted to express how something is broken down into smaller things, this might be it. But remember when we were speaking about infographics and we talked about the shape of the infographic, right? Well, hopefully everybody should have been here for that presentation. So for example, infographics here. Oh, wait, no, not that one. No, not this one. Is that? Right. It's my PowerPoint, which is 2024. Yeah. Right. Remember we were talking about these and we were talking about using the appropriate shape. And we're saying, well, this does not represent what this is saying. So we spoke about this as the art in infographic. It's the creativity because if it's just going to be a diagram or a chart, then it's going to look like that. That's just a chart. The creativity is what gives it character. Now, the creativity is what you use to get things like what we discussed earlier, like things like this that we looked on last week. So that brings me to my next step is after you decide what type of chart you want to use, then you want to get creative with it, right? So look for visual opportunities to represent the data. What do I mean by visual opportunities? The same thing. If I'm talking about the Earth is round, a pie chart is round. So I have a visual opportunity there to represent the Earth as a pie chart because it is round. Of course, that's an easy example, right? So you you want to look at what you are creating. So for example, if I'm creating something of Montego Bay, right? And let's say I'm going to make this one up. Let's say I want to say Montego Bay is made up of, I'm making up some numbers, 35%. No, I want to use a higher number. 75% resort businesses, right? And 10%, let's use something medical. Resort businesses, 10% medical, right? And 5%, what business is not that much? Game arcades, right? Don't know why that came to mind, right? All right. So step one is, let me make this big so you guys can see. And guys, you can ask questions in case I'm leaving you here. So step one is you need to collate your information. Now, the reason I say collate your information is because usually when you're doing an infographic out there in the real world, the information isn't so nicely organized for you. Like I am organizing the information nice for you. I'm telling you that Mobile is made up of 75% resort businesses. Like that is direct information. Sometimes the information is not direct. Sometimes somebody would explain something to you, like if I said to you, if I tell you that, well, I think, like if you interviewed me and I said, well, I think most persons in Mobile likes to go to the beach, but a small amount of people also like to go to the parks. And children mostly like to go to the movies. And I say, represent that statement as an infographic. Like, I didn't give you numbers. So you have to know kind of, okay, you said a small amount. Okay, you said a large amount. So you have to know kind of convert that information I give you into the data. All right, you understand what I mean, Rio? I mean, Ria, Mia?
Sorry, me or me, I assist.
Right. I meant Ria, the R. I mean,
Yes.
yeah, Ray. Sorry, my brain is muddled. So that's what I'm saying, that the information isn't as direct. So in this case, I'm giving you direct information. Montego Bay is made up of 75% resort businesses. Next thing, select the type of diagram that you want to use. All right. So what do I ask? Well, I don't talk to Ned yet. Ned, are you here?
Yes, sir.
How would you represent this information? What kind of chart would you use? Just give me some. Well, I don't want to say there's no wrong answer, but I would rather say there are appropriate answers and there are answers that are less appropriate.
I think what comes to my mind right now is pie chart, but
A pie chart, right? You could show, different percentages or whatever, right? All right, so let's say you use pie chart. Good. Let's roll with that. So you have selected the type of chart. Look for visual opportunities to represent the data. How would you, like, use your imagination? How would you do this pie chart? Is this something that you do in Google Sheets? Well, you don't want to do that because then you won't have an infographic. You just have a chart. So what comes to mind of, you're using a pie chart, but how you want to express the data creatively?
so is me asking?
Yeah, man, you same way. What is the visual opportunity in representing this sentence? Right? You're using a pie chart, fine. Are you just going to give me a boring Excel pie chart, or are you going to give me
I'm
something?
not so sure right though,
All right,
but
go on,
Sir,
think
it's
about it.
like
Go on, think about it.
sir.
Who else? Okay, go on.
I
Mhm.
think you can use, all right, so it's like a pie chart, but like using icons. Like, I mean, just like simple way to go about it, like icons with the percentage. So like if resort businesses, they can do like a little palm tree with a chair and beach chair and something. Medical,
All
obviously
right.
have like the
So,
medical sign and thing and everything.
all right, well, let me try. I'm going to attempt to use the mouse, guys, to sketch. So please forgive me. So you say use a little icon, but what are you saying? So you have like a little palm. Hold on, let me use red. Make that bigger. So you're saying you're using like a little palm tree and what? Go on.
Palm tree and beach chair, sir.
Right, cool. And like a
Mhm.
beach chair and then what?
Medical. Like a
No, so
hospital.
what about
Okay.
the data? So you're giving me the idea. So right,
Alright, so
so
like you can have like a line and like so you have like the icons across and then like have like a
right, so
line
you have
beneath it.
all right, so you have the medical. Let me just put a house, and then you have what the other one, and then game
Just
arcade.
like
Let
a
me
game
draw.
console or something.
Right,
Yeah.
cool.
And
That's a
then
game
like
controller.
you'd assume so like each icon have like a different color coding thing. So like
Right.
um the line will go there underneath it like the percentage of the color of the type of business or establishment would be like dependent on
So you
and
mean you would
amount
put
of space
70,
like
you'd put
well
70, like, hold on. Oh, so hold on. I should ask this. Are you going with um Ned's pie chart? Or are you saying you wouldn't use a pie chart, you would use a different chart?
I think it would be a different chart, maybe like
Okay,
an
okay, okay.
iconograph or something
So
like that.
okay, right. So you're going more with an informational thing. So maybe like 75% here and
Well,
then
that
or
somewhat, but like
somewhat.
the way I envision it is a bit more.
Right.
Yeah.
And guess what? You have that vision in your head. So I know that I'm not really doing it any justice trying to, sketch it out. But bear with me a little bit. The reason that I'm sketching this out is that this is the process of looking for visual opportunities. Because your visual opportunity is that you're going to use a palm tree and some kind of graph thing to show the percentage or something like that. Um, Ned is still thinking, how is she going to use a pie chart? And you come up with anything yet, Ned?
So, come again.
N-
Next 2 minutes. Sorry, I'm not sure. I was thinking like I might change the diagram, but
No, hold on. Let's stick with it. So let's say you have, I don't know the shape of Mobile, but it could be something like that. I think it shapes something like that. And then you have, maybe it could be like that. Let's say the full shape of Mobile is that. And then you have this here says 75, and then you have another part out of the Mobile that is 10, and then you have another part that is 5. This is really a horrible sketch. But what I'm trying to say is that you can still do a type of bar. Don't think of pie chart, but don't think of it in terms of a circle. Maybe is that Mobile is just split up into different sizes. Like it's just you understand what I mean? It's like a whole shape and it's kind of broken off into three parts. Are you envisioning it, Ned?
yes,
Right,
somewhat.
I mean, this might not be your idea, but I'm just throwing this out to show that this is what it means to look for visual opportunities. You're just thinking about what are interesting ways that I can show the data. Because remember, an infographic is supposed to have creativity. So you're not just going to just drop a Excel pie chart. You know what I mean? Um, so that would be step three, right? You have your data, look for the type of chart. Say, yeah, man, I'm going to use a pie chart. I'm going to use a bar chart. I'm going to use an informational, whatever it is. And then you say, oh, I'm going to make the shape of the thing look like this. And for this step, you do a little sketch. You do a little thing like, chicken scratch sketch. And I'm going to put this chicken scratch sketch right here because this is the step. Now, the next step that you do is um, you look for a theme to tie it together. When I say theme, I mean color, font, shape, sorry, color, font. So for example, a good way to look for theme is to look on existing um, infographics. So for example, I was showing you some examples here. Um, and this one, this is a, like if I ask, um, um, if I ask Chevron to like describe the theme of this infographic, how do you describe it, Sh- Chevron?
Well, as
Just
the theme
describe it
is
in any way you can, just
the theme
randomly.
is well, treason.
Right, it's using trees and environment, and the color is green and brown and earthy. The text is green, like these, but at the end of the day, like it goes together. The green text ties in with the green here and the brown and the green. So the advantage that you guys have in architecture is that you already have to do this because you lay out sheets all the time. You do posters all the time. You have to do renderings that show off your building in the most attractive way. So you're not going to put a big, hopefully most of you won't put a big shocking color, weird thing in the middle of your drawing sheet because you know how things go together. This goes back to DDM. So you know about elements of design, you know. Anybody remember the elements of design? Hold on, do I have time to be asking you these questions? What time is it? It's 7. Okay. Elements of design. Um, like line, circle, curves. For example, something like um something like just picking some at random here. Something like um well, something like this. One of the elements of design is repeating or repetitiveness or pattern. So, you know, the pattern is the same, so you can recognize that there are a couple of gray trees here. So I'm saying that the theme at this stage here, you're going to be looking at you're going to be looking at a theme to tie everything together. Because even when you come up with the idea, who was it like? Who didn't answer me with this idea again? With the icons?
Dominic, sir.
Right, Dominic. When you came up with these icons, it's like, yeah, you're onto something, but how it going to look? Like, are these green icons, purple icons? Like, are they going to have a shadow on it? Are they going to be big and in the corner? There are graphical ways for you to express these icons. Thus, coming up with the idea is just half the battle. So the other half of it is you look at examples, and I'm giving you the fast track way, guys. Like, I'm not going to say like you should spend hours coming up with a theory and whatever. No, this process can take like 5 minutes. The number one thing, just go to Google and just type out your idea and hopefully you get lucky. There are websites that you can look on. So for example, like this one here, hopefully they're still around. Yeah, Visme. Um, they have templates. Well, some of them you can pay for, but it's not about buying a template. Okay, this has changed. Now I have to sign in. Of course you do, because everything you have to sign in. Oh gosh, please no. Ah, okay, okay, okay. Okay, let's go to this one. I'm just going to go to a stock website, right? So I can just go to Shutterstock, which is one of the most expensive stock website out there, but I can just type infographic, and you can give it more detail about trees, about the environment. I'm just going to go with the straight infographic. And I can just click on any one of these random. It's not about buying this theme. It's just about identifying something that you can use. So for example, when I look at this infographic here, I might say, oh, I like how they have these three circles here and they have it, you know, like represented like this. And then what you do, you grab that idea. You say, all right, I want to use this idea to represent my icon. So I'm going to say copy to clipboard. This should work. And I'm going to go back to this guy here. And I'm going to I'm going to put Ned's idea aside. Not that it was bad, Ned, right? I'm going to put this here. So what I've done here is that I've come up with a theme. Like I might say, I want to use something with a circle. And then now that this will now influence this idea that you came up with. Maybe the controller is in a circle and then the circle has the percentage. I don't know. I'm just kind of making stuff up, guys, just to show you as an example. So the next step that you do is you find examples out there of because just coming up with the opportunity is not enough. And guess what? Sometimes these examples are things that you can just download and use. So for example, in the Shutterstock, like if you had $1 million to spend, you could buy this template in Illustrator or whatever it's available in, and then you could get the actual graphic here. Most of us don't have $1 million to spend on this, but really you don't, all you need is the visual idea, and then you go and create it on your own. So, um, 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 Dominique, let's say that you wanted to use this theme that I pick for you, right? And I know you don't necessarily want to use it, but just imagine that you chose this one, right? You hear,
Yes,
Dominique?
sir.
How would
Yeah,
you go
man.
about creating? Now that you say you want to use like a circle thing, how would you create this now? What program would you use? What would be your workflow to create this?
Um, so I guess I just draw. Well, you do it in Illustrator,
You would
sir.
do it,
But
you just do it raw. You would just draw the
I mean,
circles and
the circle look pretty simple, sir. So it shouldn't
I
be that hard.
mean, yeah, I mean this theme is luckily a simple one.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, okay, fine. You jump into Illustrator and you draw it. Any other ideas before I move on? Um,
I mean,
no, it's not a
if we're
wrong
going to
answer, I
like
know.
say,
It's not a
oh,
wrong
man,
answer. I just
understand.
make you know.
Oh, well, to continue with the infographic, I guess we can put all three. Well, I see when we're using the icons here, we can put them in the circles, but like instead of color coding every single part of the circle, you just have like a specific color for like you have the game console in the last one there.
Right, right, right.
And you
Cool.
still have the outline of the entire circle, but you only color code the 5% of the circle. And
All right.
yeah.
You see that you mentioned to me? What
Mm-hmm.
happened now is that you started to come up with new add-on ideas to your initial idea. Because when you came up with those two icons, that was like the egg. It was like the original idea. But now when you look for a theme, you start to extend that idea now. So now you're thinking, okay, well, maybe I can turn it into a graph and put the circle part of the graph. You know what I mean? So this is the whole reason why I tell you to, after you have your initial idea, to go out and look for themes, because that is just going to cause your idea to expand. You understand? Now, back to my original question is the actual doing. Like, this is where your technical skills come into mind. This is using Photoshop or Illustrator, or for those of you that use InDesign, or some of you might use PowerPoint, whatever it is, you now have to know. Hopefully, you have explored enough graphical programs to say, what's the best way for me to get a circle with a little, notice a little shadow business in there as well. What's the best way for me to get this? This is where the technical part comes in. Me personally, I would maybe use Illustrator, like what you said, or I could actually jump over to let me go here. I could actually jump into good old Google Sheets, right? So I could actually jump into Google Sheets or even PowerPoint. No, not Sheets. Sorry, Sheets? Well, yeah, I could use Sheets. Oh no, I'm gonna have to sign in because you see, because I'm not using my regular computer. Everything is telling me that I have to sign in. So let me try and see if I can jump to Sheets here. Where's my thingy here? Um, Here we go. Oh, come on. Okay. All right, good. I could just jump into Sheets and let me just pick this template to see if I can get away with this. Oh no, I can't use this one. All right, fine. Use a new one. So imagine I was using Excel then, because this is the same as Sheets. And what did I say again? I said resort business. I said what was the other one again? Guys, remind me.
Medical.
Medical, right? Medical, and then I said game arcade. And then I think I said game arcade was 5, medical was 10, and then this was 75. And then I can just select these guys here. I can go to we're in Google Sheets now, so I would be looking for chart. And then Google will just give me this chart. And then I can say, all right, let's say that I want to do something. I could use this, or I could use whatever. The point is that I could get this. Then I could simply download this as a PDF. Just download it there. And then I can just jump into what's your program that you use now? Let me use Photoshop. 'Cause I know everybody here probably default to Photoshop. No, actually, no. Let me use Illustrator because I want to actually recommend using Illustrator for this because you just get more flexibility. I'm going to go to open and I think I saved this in downloads. Arrange by date. Oh Lord, where did I download this thing to? I downloaded it to here, which is in downloads. Yeah. Why am I not seeing it here? Because I'm in documents. I'm not reading here. Right. Now, because this is let me see if this will work with it should work. Because I'm dealing with vector, um this Illustrator might look a little different than yours because I'm on a Mac, but the premise should be the same. Right. Um Because this is vector, guys, this is now fully editable. So I can just grab these, copy, paste. Okay, now let me grab everything. Okay, let me just ungroup or release. That's what I'm looking for. And release clipping mask. And release clipping mask again. And yeah. So all of this is now editable. So remember how you were saying how you would build it, you would draw a circle or whatever. But I could just use a couple seconds and generate this, as a graphic, and then I can now go ahead and manipulate it. So I'm just saying, guys, this is the technical part now. You can use other programs to get what you want. For example, suppose, let me go back to Ned's idea. Ned, you're doing a pie chart. Suppose you wanted the pie chart to be a 3D of Montego Bay, right? Um, you could just draw it in a 3D program. What you say, Sakia? With
Sure.
Yeah, you could go into SketchUp and just draw the shape of Moby, extrude it, and save it as a whatever PDF. Carry that in Photoshop or whatever. And oh well, you could cut it up from in SketchUp. So the point of what I'm trying to get now is the technical part. Like how would you actually do the thing after you find the theme, right? And Sakia, let me show you this. Remember this link that I sent you guys to? If you were trying to figure out how can I represent Montego Bay as a pie chart, I'm trying to find where I am, right? Here. Where's the here? Right. You could just go to this website and look for something that shows your maps, or look for something that shows your pie charts, which multi-donut pie charts, right? And then look at all of these cool ideas. Look at all of these cool ideas for pie charts. Yeah, look at this one. Nice. I mean, I'm not telling you to like go ahead and render out something to get this, but these are such cool ideas. Like, look at this one. I love this one. I love the glass look. I'm not sure how I would accomplish that though. Hmm. Yeah, maybe one time I'll try that out. Right. But you have all these ideas. So this is why I'm telling you, use this website to help you find ways of expressing your pie chart. Because this just shows you a bunch of pie charts. As a matter of fact, if you're trying to represent a location, there's actually a location-based pie chart, location-based maps that they're called, what do you call them again? Yeah, there's so much. This is connecting, route. Um, oh, look at this one. This is okay. You could do something like this. right? This is pretty cool. And of course, if you click on it, you get all these other examples. All right, anyway. Anyway, guys, I think I'm spending too long on that point. So let me continue. By the time you come out of this class, you're going to be dizzy. All right, so the next step is to look for a theme, and then you are going to search for your design resources. So remember when I touched this earlier, when I talk about who was I asking, where would you go to get a tree or to get a leaf or to, you'd probably have to go to Google or wherever. These are some nice websites that a lot of them, these are free, right? Known Project. Is there anybody here know about Known Project? In the architecture school, this should be like one of your favorite web. You should bookmark this website. Nobody? So Known Project is a place that you go to get icons. It's Icon City. Icon on anything. You just go here and is this Known Project? Well, okay. They have changed. Okay, cool. But anyway, you can go to get icons, right? Because for an infographic, an icon is like the fuel. Like you want to simplify most things as icons. Free Pick is another good one. Anybody use Free Pick? It has free stuff. You don't have to pay for anything. So if you need a picture of, yeah, one person, okay, good. So if you need a picture of a bag because you're doing some kind of infographic on a bag, you just go there and type bag and you'll get a bunch of stuff. Because once you get it from Google, you're not going to get a good resolution or you're going to have to fix it up. So these are some good sites that you can go to get these things. And then you work on your infographic because you have all the ingredients, right? You had your idea, you came up with your chart, you did a little sketch, you found a little theme, and then you look for some assets, some icons and stuff like that, and you start to actually put it together in Photoshop, Illustrator, whatever program you're using. And while you're putting it together, you're going to make new decisions and you're going to say, oh, you know what, this worked better, this don't work. So all in all, guys, you don't just jump into Photoshop and say, all right, I'm going to make an infographic, right? Um, of course, if you are more experienced in doing an infographic, maybe you don't have to follow my step-by-step thing. But what I want you guys to do is to now try this. I want you to start your assignment. So I want you to pick the two ones that you want to do, and I want you to use these steps. So I want you to save the things that you find. So for example, when you select the type of chart that you want to use, I want you to take a screenshot and save it where? Where, Seku? Where are you going to store all of this idea and information? Give me a good guess. Is Seku here? Pringle?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, where are you going to save all this information? When you look for examples, and where are you going to put it?
Uh, not sure, sir.
You're not sure? All right,
The
who
digital
can help him
notebook.
out?
The
What was that,
digital
Daniel?
notebook.
In your
The
digital
digital
notebook.
notebook.
Exactly. That's what I want you guys to do, right? I don't want you to find a thing and then you just take a screenshot and put it on your desktop. And then you look for some icons and you throw them into your downloads and say, all right, me come to it later. I want you to, the process of you creating this infographic, I want you to do what we did in the very first class. I want you to lay it out in a notebook, in a digital notebook. You don't have to use OneNote. You can use your own. Say if you're already using Samsung Notes or whatever. But I want you to lay it out in a way so when I look on it, I can see your progression. I can see what ideas you have, right? If you have to do any sketching like this, your sketching cannot be worse than mine, right? Right, Sulong? Even if you have to sketch with your trackpad, I don't think it can be worse than mine, right? Right. So you're sketching, I want you to try it out in the notebook as well. Like when you're coming up with ideas like, how am I going to represent like what do you call it? Like employment types. Barber, what's a barber? Oh, I'm going to do a little thing of a comb and you sketch a little comb. I'm going to do a thing and I put a percentage, just like what you saw me do here. You're really ideating, you're trying to figure out opportunities, graphical opportunities. How can I represent heights of buildings? Remember we talked about this last week? Oh, we can just use a graph and every building have a height. So you sketch that out as an idea, and then you look for examples of how that idea was used. So you can find a good theme. That's what I'm saying, guys. The theme is what will make your infographic appealing, because if it's not appealing, then it's just not going to be nice to look at, right? So I want you guys to try this out. We have like probably an hour and a half for class. So I'm going to finish talk now because as I said, I talk for the first part of the class and then the rest of it is the doing. So now what I want you to do is I want you to start this process, and I'm going to hang around and look on some of your ideas that you have for your infographic. I don't know if I'll get to everybody, but what I want you to do is when you come up with these steps, and you put them in your notebook, I want you to submit a link to that. You have to show me that idea, right? And this is going to be our class activity for today. So you're going to submit that link to me.
So, so
Yeah, go ahead.
can I ask for some grace for our class, please? We're preparing for presentation on Tuesday, so
Oh,
we might not get this.
no, but this is not a homework, you know. We're
I
doing
know,
this
sir, but
now.
no, so since you said you're sticking around, we're actually working on model right now and different
Oh,
parts of
okay, okay,
the.
okay. All right, all
So
right, all
we're
right.
listening, but
I'll I'll
you
make you a
might not
deal.
get.
Okay, I'll make you a deal. I know how it is, so I'll make you a deal, all right? Um, when is your presentation? Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Oh
Yes, sir.
Lord. So I'm not going to see anybody Monday. Is that on a really I tell me? Is that on a really I tell me? Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Read between the lines. All right. So tell you what we can do, because remember we are also on a schedule, right? And let me go to my schedule here. Um, is this it? No, this is not it. This is my other account. Here, let's go here and let's see what we have here. So today, why is this not zooming? Because it's a Mac. What is Zoom on Mac? I don't know. And I don't have any Mac people here to help me. All right. Today we're dealing with infographics. No, infographics. Today is no man, we're gone too far. Today's the 14th. Today is the 12th. No, the 21st. 21st, right. So today we are here. Okay, right. So we are still on infographic, and then Monday, um, we're supposed to do the infographic creation process, and then we're supposed to this infographic is due on the first. So this assignment that we're doing here now, right? Um, is originally due to be handed in the first. Right. Let me see. Yeah, this is where we are. Right, infographics. Right, this is where we are. So, got my calendar here. And if some of these dates are not. So today is the 21st. You have presentation on the 24th. Right. Right. We're actually here. Right. Students show how they will create infographics class activity. Right. So this is the class activity that we're supposed to do today. And then Monday, oh, Monday we move to infographics in architecture. Oh Lord, that's a whole new topic. Hmm. 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 All right, guys. So here's the thing. We can't go into a new topic if you're not fully here because the infographics in architecture will add another layer of complexity to infographics. And it makes sense you're half here and then you come to the next class like, oh, what? How do you know what I mean? So, um, our next class after that is going to be March 2nd. And this is where we do demonstration of infographic creation process. All right. Well, we can try and fit everything in that Saturday class. Oh, all right, you want your my recommendation, guys? My recommendation is we do the infographics in architecture lecture on Monday, but I won't do any class activities on Monday. I will just move that to the following class. Guys, what do you think?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, that could work.
Yes, sir.
Right,
Uh,
but here's the thing, because the idea is that I don't want to move because remember, infographics has two parts. You have general infographics, which is what we're doing now, which is just charts, and then we have infographics in architecture, which is it lean closer towards architecture. And the truth is that, guys, like I'm expecting you to use this thing in your presentation, in your study tour presentation. I'm sure you have to display some amount of data. Are you using infographics in your study tour presentation? Any kind of chart? I figure you have a timeline.
Yes, sir.
Any other charts that you have in that presentation?
Yes, sir. Be an infographic, sir. No.
I figure. All right. So I figured. So I'm hoping that some of the things I'm telling you is things that you can use in your presentation. You can look at these websites that I show you that you can see what type of chart you want to use and then you can develop it and all of that. So here what we do. Here what we do. Here what we'll do. You see, instead of doing today's activity, hold on, but it's a group work. Your study tour presentation is a group work, right? Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Here what I'm going to do. Here where my brain is. I'm going to waive today's activity, right? So we don't have to do today's activity, and we don't have to push it for Monday. Because if I push it for Monday, I'm still not gonna do it because I'm still not gonna be fully here on Monday. But On Monday, you still have to come to class to do the infographics in architecture lecture, because we can't push that to Saturday, because we have too much to do, right? Instead of doing today's class activity, which is supposed to be you guys showing me your thought process of coming up with the infographic for your assignment. Instead of showing me that today, I will create a link in the submission form for you to just send me the link to that to that notebook along with the infographics. So you can do that when you're handing it in. Basically, you don't have to do it in class. You don't have to do it today, and you don't have to do it Monday, but you just have to do it because I need to see that you have used the process in which I showed you. And instead of making you submit it in class, I'll just create a submission button on the existing submission where I will say submit a link to your notebook here. And when I click on the notebook, I need to see like the things that I show you today. Like you went to a place and you take a screenshot because you like this chart and you say, all right, I want to use this chart. And for example, you would show me where is that? Right. So you would show me like what I sketched and show you here. So I would see things like this, like you would show me, oh, my ideas is these little icons, and you take a screenshot because I want to use this icon. Like I want to see what you are thinking as much as possible in your notebook. And you just have to send me a link to that notebook when you're submitting the work. And that assignment is due. When you look and remember, for all due dates, guys, please use the timeline. So that assignment is due on Sunday, March 1st, which is a week from today. Am I right? Yes. Right. So when you submit Sunday, March 1st, you also show me those ideas. Deal?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we're doing a virtual handshake now. So I'm going to see you guys on class Monday, right? Well, you said those who I don't see, I can just deduct some points, right? Because that means you broke our agreement, right? I don't hear somebody confirm.
Sir, we'll be there.
You'll be there. All right, cool. So what I'll do, I'll try to make it short. So we'll just talk about infographics in architecture, and then you can go. We're not doing any class activity. I just need to put this information in your brain, and then you can go. And then we'll continue along our regular schedule, right? And I'm hoping to see some infographics in your study tour document. All right? Let me feel good like somebody teach or something. And yeah, use it. All right. All right, guys. So with that said, I'm gonna end it there for today, class. Right? We're no longer doing the activity because I give you the time. You will just do the activity and submit it to me when you're submitting the work. All right, guys?
Okay,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okey-doke. All right, so that is it for class today. I hope you guys learned something. Remember, when you are doing the assignment and you're coming up with the infographic, please go on the mirror board that we just was on. Where is it? Here. Go on the mirror board, look on these steps, right? And document this in your notebook. Show me that you have used the steps and how it led to your final thing. All right. So that's where I leave it. I have no splash screen or no fancy music. That is just going to be it for class today. And good luck with your study tour presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Well, Bye. I see you on Monday.
Bye, sir.
All right, cool. Boy.